everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for week 30 Premier League fixtures. And if we get anything like we just saw in week 29, we are in for a treat. We saw Newcastle, just like I predicted, decimate and destroy Manchester United at St James's Park. We also saw Liverpool get destroyed by Manchester City, the English champions, at the Etihad. We also saw West Ham clinch a vital 3 points against Southampton to move themselves to 14th in the Premier League table. And I don't think this weekend will disappoint either. We got Arsenal travelling to Anfield, and we know historically in the past that has been a gas chamber for Arsenal, where they have suffered defeat after defeat. We also got Manchester City travelling to St Mary's, and although most people will say Manchester City will definitely win, remember what happened last time these two teams faced off at St Mary's? Southampton won 2-0 in the Carabao Cup. And we also got other amazing games at Manchester United versus Everton. Can Everton somehow get another result against the Big Six like they did to Chelsea and Tottenham? We'll have to wait and see. However, before going this video and give my match predictions, you know I'm going to say, make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there, because only 10% of you guys actually subscribe. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus Arsenal, and what a gigantic game this is going to be between two historic clubs in English football. And going into this game, we know Arsenal are the better side, they've been playing the better football, and there's a reason why they are top of the Premier League table as we speak. But historically, like I just said, we know Arsenal have it all to face off with. The task is going to be very, very difficult to beat Liverpool at Anfield, because we know historically they have been battered every single time. Think about it, the last time Arsenal actually won at Anfield in the Premier League, Robin van Persie was wearing an Arsenal top. So this just shows you how much of a difficult task this is going to be. And even recent history will tell you it's going to be a difficult game. The last few years or so, every single time Arsenal have played Liverpool at Anfield, they have conceded at least 3 goals, which just shows you that they always get blown away. They get caught up in the Anfield hurricane like so many teams have done in the past. And Arsenal have to wise up if they want to get 3 points, despite Liverpool being iffy at best this season. And heading into this game, I think Mikel Arteta will be wiser. He won't be as naive as he was last season, getting the crowd on, which allowed Liverpool to come back into the game and win 4-0. He's not going to be that deluded. He's not going to be that idiotic. He's going to understand, as an ex-Evertonian, and even last season, like I said, that he has to be calm. He has to be professional. He can't give any little advantage Liverpool can feast on. He's going to make sure this game remains about football. Ball on the floor, no physical battles, no 50-50 duels. As long as Arsenal are patient and wise and command the game, because we know Arsenal have superior players when it comes to the midfield battle. Zinchenko drifting in as that extra third body. If Arsenal retain possession of the ball, they are going to suck the life out of the Anfield faithful, which means Liverpool will not have the 12th man. This is only going to give Arsenal players the confidence to grow into the game, to establish themselves and express themselves when it comes to playing on the front foot. And obviously the Liverpool players, that secret weapon will be lost, and it's going to be about technical ability and who has been the better side all Premier League season. Arsenal can rely on consistent ways of breaking down Liverpool and really hurting them. We know Martinelli against Trent Alexander-Arnold, if he does play, is a matchup made in heaven for Mikel Arteta, like we saw in the reverse fixture at the Emirates. We know Zinchenko obviously tucking in, being that creative third body as well within the midfield. It is going to help outnumber Liverpool's old and stale midfield, which cannot get to any midfielders on the pitch. We literally saw it at the Etihad. So honestly, Arsenal have a real great chance, and if there's any season Arsenal can win at Anfield, it has to be this one. However, like I said, Arsenal cannot underestimate Liverpool. We know Liverpool going forward, despite being inconsistent, we know they can throw a bevy of punches in the space of a few minutes or so. We know Mohamed Salah, his counter-attacking, his ability to run in behind is going to be a danger threat for Arsenal, especially when Zinchenko tucks in as that third midfielder. We know on the right side of Arsenal's defence, William Saliba still missing. Is going to be a favourable matchup if someone like Núñez or even Jota starts. And we know Jota, when he plays against Arsenal, he usually... And if Arsenal are too naive like they did against Manchester United at Old Trafford, we know Liverpool on the counter-attack can score goals. And also, it's unspoken about. I know Arsenal have been excelling this season, have been playing so well, but this year, they've actually been conceding goals, and it's been a rarity for them to keep and maintain a clean sheet. Whether that's against Leeds, whether that's against Crystal Palace, Arsenal can't find themselves keeping a clean sheet. And going into this game, I can't see Arsenal blowing out Liverpool. So if it's a nip and tug game, especially with Arsenal being fragile at the back, can Liverpool somehow get a result? And that's why I think this game is actually going to end as a draw. I think this is just going to be too much of a hurdle to win at Anfield. I see this game ending as a stalemate. I'm going to go for a 1-1 result between the two sides. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Southampton versus Manchester City, the English champions versus Southampton, who we know are currently occupying the 20th place position. And going into this game, as a Southampton fan, you're probably thinking, let's just sit back, soak up pressure and pray for a draw, a result. However, that's not good enough anymore. It's literally crunch time. Southampton are bottom, have played 29 games, whereas other teams have games in hand. Southampton must go all out, and Southampton must pick up all 3 points if they want to be playing Premier League football next season. And going into this game, I know Southampton just beat Manchester City a month ago, and they played stellar football and neutralised Manchester City when going forward. However, that was a completely different Manchester City side as we are seeing now. Manchester City look polished. They look like the finished article. They're starting to put a phenomenal run together, 7 wins on the bounce. So Southampton have to be wary of this, especially if Manchester City have so many danger threats in different positions of the pitch which can win you the game. Manchester City have been annihilating, humiliating, embarrassing every single team they have faced. Think about it. Look at the game against Liverpool, beating them 4-1, who are no slouches. Manchester City have been on an absolute tear, with pretty much every player been in fine form. Kevin De Bruyne, who's picking up passes, getting assists again. Jack Grealish, who is slightly getting better and better every single game which goes by, which is proving his worth. We have even seen Alvarez showcase why he's a suitable replacement for Harden when he's out and injured, with their record being 3 wins without him. However, like I said in my last video, Southampton love it when it's a free hit like James Ward-Prowse does in his celebration. They love it when there's no pressure on them, and that's when they excel and they perform at their best. Think about Tottenham, think about Chelsea, think about Manchester United. So can they potentially repeat this sort of play like they did last time against Manchester City and get a victory which is going to be so vital and pivotal when it comes to staying up this season? Or are they going to get decimated? I think it's going to be the latter. Pep Guardiola is going to hype up this game to his players, and they're going to know not to be complacent despite Southampton being bottom of the league, since Southampton have had their number in the past. They're going to be motivated for revenge. They're going to be seeking blood and vengeance, and I can't see anything but a Manchester City win. It's going to be 4-1 away from home for Manchester City within this fixture. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Tottenham Hotspur versus Brighton. And what a massive game this is going to be when it comes to the top 4 race between the two sides. I know Tottenham Hotspur right now occupy the 4th place position. However, you cannot underestimate Brighton. They are literally waiting in the shadows. I know not a lot of pundits are talking about them, but potentially they are still in a top 4 race, having a couple of games in hands up their sleeves. Heading into this game, I feel like it's undeniable. Brighton have to be considered the favourites. The last time they were at White Hart Lane in the Premier League, they were able to win away from home last season. We know Brighton have the better, courageous manager who wants to play in the front foot and who's experienced full time when it comes to getting results, whereas we know Tottenham Hotspur have an assistant manager playing the role as the main man. And we know Brighton have better quality across the pitch as a team and have been playing much more as a unit, whereas we know Tottenham Hotspur have been Harry Kane centric and reliant, and whenever he doesn't perform, Tottenham Hotspur do not excel in any capacity. So going into this game, I'm expecting a lot from Brighton, and I feel like they could potentially get a result within this fixture. I feel like Brighton will be on the front foot. They're going to be courageous. They want to be brave on the ball, play in between the lines, get the wingers high and wide. Imagine Mitoma going against Romero, who we know is rash, who loves a challenge. If Mitoma knocks the ball past him and Romero gets an early yellow, that could change the whole complexion of the game. We know Somi Marsh on the other side going against Langley. We know these sort of defenders have mistakes in their game, so Brighton are going to be relishing the opportunity of literally picking them apart if they play their cards right. Especially with Brighton having that extra body in the midfield of McAllister, Casado and Gross. I think they're going to control and dominate the game, whereas we know Tottenham Hotspur are going to be playing a 2 who are going to be outnumbered in the park and are going to be sitting back. A case can be made though that both teams are going to be suited to their style of play in this game. Brighton on the front foot, and we know Tottenham Hotspur are much more effective on the counter-attack when Kane drops in deep and literally pins those balls in behind for players like Kulusevski and Son to run onto. However, at the end of the day, I feel like the more consistent team should be favoured to win this game. I just love Brighton, the way they have been playing, the way they've been dominating games and scoring goals for fun. However, it must be said though, defensively, they have been weak and got at, conceding 2 goals against Leeds, 3 goals against Brentford. Although they have been committing so many bodies forward and been playing the beautiful game that we love to see, defensively, they have been a shambles at times, and we know Tottenham Hotspur on the break, like I said, they're going to be relishing the opportunity of being in one-on-one duels on the wing. Going into this game, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think potentially this could be one of the games of the season where we know Tottenham Hotspur defensively literally cannot stop a championship player from scoring. I'm going to go for an epic duel and battle. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between the two sides. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester United versus Everton at Old Trafford. And what a massive game this is going to be for not only the top 4 race for Manchester United, but the relegation battle for Everton going into this fixture. And heading into this game, Manchester United have to be considered the favourites since we know they have a stellar record at home and have already beaten Everton at Old Trafford this season within the FA Cup. So they know how to break down a stubborn, resilient Everton side. However, it must be said, Everton have moved past the days of Frank Lampard where they had no identity. We have seen Everton in the past few weeks be tough, resilient, disciplined, never die attitude, and just like I predicted in the game against Tottenham Hotspur, showcase this and get a last gasp goal to get them an all-important draw when it comes to the relegation race. They showed this character against Chelsea. They showed this mentality against Tottenham Hotspur. Why can't they show this same sort of madness and attitude when it comes to this game against Manchester United? They're going to be entering this game full of belief, no matter what happens, no matter how many chances Manchester United have, that they're always going to be within this game and potentially snatch a draw away from home. And going into this game, we know Manchester United, ever since the Carabao Cup final, have not been the same. They have been inconsistent, flimsy at best, still have champagne down their stomach, and they need to get rid of that because they have a serious top 4 battle on their hands. And like I just predicted as well, when Marcus Rashford isn't firing, when Marcus Rashford isn't his world-class self at times and moments when he gets big goals, we are seeing the cracks within the Manchester United side. Weghorst going forward, shambolic, offers absolutely nothing. Anthony, one-trick pony, one-dimensional, always wants to cut it onto his left foot and be Iron Robin. Sancho isn't pulling up any trees and living up to his price tag. Manchester United have a lot more worries going forward, which Manchester United fans do not want to admit. And going into this game at Old Trafford, where we know Sean Dyche is going to be in the players' ears, saying be disciplined, be brave, be organised, literally challenge Manchester United, be physical and tough, throw them off their game. Manchester United might be worried, they might be concerned, and they might be literally not live up to the expectations which they were shown in parts of the season already. However, with all this said, with Manchester United being at home with such a great record, with Manchester United looking to bounce back, and Ten Hag is a manager who doesn't accept anything but perfection, I can really see Everton not doing enough or well enough to get a victory within this game against Manchester United. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Manchester United at Old Trafford.